Black. What's going on?
What's up, Unc? You know it's going all the way up, baby. We got a special guest in here, some
Yeah,
Hall
super
of
special.
Famers in here.
Super
And I ain't even
special.
talking about just me and you. I ain't even
Right,
talking about me
right,
and you.
right.
Yeah. I ain't
We
even
got
talking
a,
about me and you.
we got a special one today.
Yeah, man. And I got all my questions and some. Hey, listen, don't even worry about it, Unc. We gonna run this thing the right way. We got something going on today, man. Got something
That's
going
right.
on today. What's up? How was your week? Was your week good?
The week is good. I'm tired still from going to New York for Anthony Jr.'s wedding and just to travel,
Yeah,
from east to west
yeah.
and losing them 3 hours. So
I
we
know
just
that's
trying
right. And then you gained them back coming back, huh?
I'm still tired. Yeah, I was
I
tired.
know that's
So
right. Tell us
so
about
really
your
just
weekend. How was the wedding? How was the wedding, huh?
the wedding was great when you see all your kids and your nieces and nephews all show up for him. I knew they was gonna show up for him, so that was a blessing. And then just watching him take his new wife, and my new daughter-in-law to the clan, and man, everything was A1. It was A1, you know. So
Absolutely. I wouldn't expect nothing different.
right,
Not from
so
my family anyway. You know what I'm talking
right,
about?
so
Not from
yeah.
my family anyway.
So what you had going
Uh
on?
Man, listen, been getting ready to go back to school. I've been in my school making a library. I done built a library, bro, for these inner city kids, man. I just I've been working with the Golden Knights out here in Las Vegas. They just donated a sports court to my school, so they just put that down yesterday for us, man. So
Oh,
we
that's
got a little
cool.
sports court, look like pickleball. It ain't nothing. We're gonna learn some pickleball this year, but we're gonna use it for volleyball and basketball and everything, man. I was just blessed to have the opportunity to get the funds from the Golden Knights and be able to invest that into my school, man. So like we talked about last episode, Unc, man,
Yeah.
and being coached by you and Uncle Winton and just always even in talking in the backstage with our special guest today, if you're not giving back to the city, man, then what you out here for? I don't understand. People want to take, man, but they not giving back. And then we at a point in life where the generation now needs us more than ever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's so many
Yeah.
things that they confused on, so many things that they don't really know. They paying attention to social medias and the internet and everything on social media and the internet ain't always true. It ain't some of it, some of it's fabricated, some of it's extended, but they need male role models more than ever, especially our young black males that are living in poverty or living in stricken areas where they need to see a positive black face and not just somebody out there hustling or somebody out there grinding. They need to see grown men really out here doing it for the community, man. So, like I said, I always love y'all for what y'all gave me, and I just be trying to turn that around and then get back to my community in the same way. So, it's been a great week, man.
Exactly.
We start school tomorrow, so it's crazy. I feel like summer went way too fast, huh?
Yeah, it went. That's what me and the guest was talking about. The guest, we was just saying how everything is moving so fast, and I don't want to hold him up too long and keep him back there in the green room. But
Okay,
yeah,
I got it. Look, let me go ahead and do my Shannon Sharp. Let me do my Shannon Sharp. Watch this. Watch this. Our special guest today, right? Huge role model for me. Played at UNLV way before I got there. I believe you was before our special guest,
yes,
correct?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. So it go it go our special guest, then it go my generation. But let me just give you a little bit of background so we can bring them in the right way, right? Our special guest today, four-time first team All Arena player, 93, 95, 96, my graduation year, 2000, again, my graduation year, AFL MVP, 1993, two-time second team All Arena League, 97 and 99, two-time AFL Ironman of the Year, 99 and 2000, two-time all Ironman team, 99 and 2000. Okay. Second team, 15th anniversary team in 2001 for the Arizona Rattlers. They retired his number. I don't even know no other arena teams too much besides Arizona, but they retired our special guest number. You heard me? He also made the 20 greatest players in Arena League. Come on, man. I'm telling y'all about our special guest here. Listen to me. Also, Arena League Football Hall of Famer. Not that he just make an Arena League Football Hall of Fame, but he's a UNLV Hall of Famer as well. Come on, man. We talking about somebody special today. You heard me?
Yeah,
AFL 25 greatest players of all time at number 5. He was number 5 at the AFL 20 greatest players, so he made both lists. I can give you some of his numbers. Man, come on, listen. I can tell you his career league stats and career in the Arena League. We'll wait till he gets on, right? But the thing that I'm most proud of him, and I got some questions about some other things in his coaching career, but the thing that I'm most proud of this man about and being a mentor for me is when I started the Black and Blue program, this man was at Canyon Springs High School coaching. And I had the opportunity to meet Devontae Christopher, and it was another wide receiver they had. They was throwing the ball all over the place, and at that time, Canyon Springs wasn't throwing the ball like that. And this man was there as the head coach, winning games, changing the whole attitude and atmosphere of that community as well as that school. And not only did he change the community in the school, he did it so much so that they dedicated the name of the football field to our special guest today, man. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in. Listen, from and me, rebels to death, one of the truest rebels that I know, a great mentor for me, still in contact with me and helping me with my school. Let's bring in the great, or one of the greatest players that ever play at UNLV, Hunkie Cooper. What up, sir? What up, OG?
Dog, what's up, man? What's up, fam? What's up, fam, man?
What up, though?
Man, I've done a lot of interviews, man, but none more emotional and honored to be on than this one, man. To have somebody that come before me and really helped me with my career. I got to play with Blue, so I felt like he was a guy that I could have really played with, and I got to mentor you, and you guys epitomize what it is to play the game with physical toughness, accountability, availability, and durability. Now it's just about ability. If a guy can run, and give him a scholarship, but if he can't run for 60 to the right spot, if he can't run for 16 weeks, then he's no good, man. And me and Blue, man, I got to play with Blue and Hot Dog and Steve Starworth, man. And you talk about they made me the pro I was, because when I would come home in the off season, I would be with Blue and those guys playing flag football, and you talking about getting out in front of them on a punt with kick return, brother. You better do it right. So it was we had a great time out there, man, just playing with those guys. Kept my tools sharp, man, and it kept me focused, and it was an honor because these guys played before I did. And with you, man, like you said, you talked about Canyon. It was about a lot of talent, man, but nobody believed in those kids, and they struck them down because of where they lived and what neighborhood they lived in. And I was able to go in and put my name on kids. And I bought so much Canyon Springs gear because it was tarnished when I got there, and they had a white flag as the logo, surrender to me. So I changed the logo with a dagger, and I put my kids in that school to give it credibility. I wanted my kids to go to public school and make private school grades, and my son who graduated from there, and my daughter, AJ is a safety coach at Oregon State. My daughter is a senior research analyst for the state of Nevada with the legislature, man. And we created a game, Dr. Martin Luther King game, and crime went down 60% in that community. We had 100% graduation and college placement. But again, I say that to say this, man. It's all about love, man. It's all about the same game that we play and the same message, man. It's about accountability. It's about character. It's about integrity. It's about humility. And you guys displayed that. Not only, I'm talking about real football. When a guy ran a slant, you trade him 6 yards for a headache, and there wasn't no defenseless player. I'm talking about when you could go in and crack block and knock a person out, and there was no flag. I'm talking about guys from the streets of LA, guys from Pasadena, guys from all over the world. And me from East Texas, there was 2 high schools and 6 prisons, man, and UNLV saved my life. There's 2 high schools and 6 prisons where I'm from. And my father passed. I'm the 8th of 10 kids. My father passed away when I was 14. That's why I wore number 14. That's when I became a man, and I became a father at 18. It was
Okay.
coaches that came into my life that saved my life, man. So I have a responsibility to the game, not to the kids, but to the game. But the
Yes.
game is not to take to the grave with me, man. It's the my mother told me the things you do for yourself die and go to the grave with you, but the things you do for others will create a legacy that you cannot live. And I didn't understand it, but now I do. Been in the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame, been in the Arena Hall of Fame, been in the UNLV Hall of Fame, been in the NAIA Hall of Fame, and I created an award called Commitment to Youth Award that's associated with the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame every year. So it's people that dig in their pockets to make sure that kids have an opportunity to get an education. And so I give four coaches kid $1,500 checks every year. That's with Steve Stallworth and those guys, man, with the Football Foundation and Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. And I'm gonna honor this city by the way that I live, man. So glad to be back here at UNLV. I'm in my 30th month, man, and we've had some success since the '84 team. And graduating people had the first guy drafted in 15 years of a 3.28 GPA, over 40 guys on the dean's list, and won more games in back-to-back seasons in the history of the school, man. But again, I want us to honor the people that came before us, because with this day and age in the transfer portal, kids are just popping off. They're trying to give themselves another chance. They're leaving LSU and TCU and all these Power 5 schools to come here, but it's not. I'm just here to tell them, you just can't come here and get fed. You got to go back and you got to feed somebody, man. So I really appreciate you both allowing me to come on and talk about my experience and what the game has done for me. But more than anything, man, I'm honored that two UNLV legends, a guy before me and a guy after me, have created a platform to talk about what UNLV football has done for our lives.
Exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that
Let
was
me get
definitely
this. Let's
moving.
go into yeah, yeah. Listen, that's Chris. I got
That's
chills. I
hump.
don't even know if you can see it. I got chills.
Right.
You feel me? Like, come on, man. So listen, this is where I want to go. I got a bunch of questions for you. I'm kind of the mouth on the show, so I'm gonna shoot some questions at you. The first thing I want to say to you and talk about, brother grew. I shouldn't say he grew up. He spent a lot of his older years, 18 and up, in Texas. I spent time in Midland. I spent time in Odessa. I've been in Lubbock. I know you from Texas. Tell me about Palestine, Texas, and what it was like playing ball there. Tell me about your high school career. Dive into some of that for me.
So for me, man, again, I told you, losing my father at 14. I grew up in the projects, Mount Vernon Apartments. That was a big black African American church, and to feed that church, they built some apartments. I grew up in Mount Vernon Apartments, 9J on the back street. Back street was one way in, one way out. We blocked the streets, all play football. And that's where it's from. I got a guy named Ivor Lee Brown from there. That's Adrian Peterson, uncle. Played 4 years in the NFL. Got a guy named Guy Brown, played for the Dallas Cowboys. Got 3 or 4 Olympians. Got a young guy named Adrian Peterson. We call it Beast Texas because, like I said, there's 2 high schools and 6 prisons. And they can tell you right now if they're going to build another prison or a classroom. They ain't building no more classrooms, man. So I was able to play, come out of there. I got a scholarship. I had a football, baseball, and basketball scholarship when I came out to go play. But I was a father. I became a father at 18, and I had to leave that to go make a life for my kid. So my first stop was Trinity Valley Community College. And my roommate was a guy named John Randall. He played at Texas A&I Kingsville, and then played the Hall of Fame in the NFL, man. And we had nothing to go back home to. So I was the first black quarterback in the history of Trinity Valley. And at the time, a guy named Sean Kemp was there, and another guy named Nick Van Exel was there playing basketball. So it was an opportunity for me as a father to be close to my kids, but to start my education. So didn't work out for me there. The first 4, I started 4 games, we won, and then the other 8 games we lost. So me, I'm young, hot-headed back then. They ain't playing me because I'm black. That wasn't what it was. So I'm talking and running my mouth, and I told them I ain't coming back in the spring. So I get back there in the spring. They took my scholarship. And back then, you go Trailways and you had a Foot Locker, school closed, church closed. Mama was sending a $10 money order every month. My mom wasn't married for 30 years, only made $13,000 a year, but she made sure that we made it. So I was never going to do anything to embarrass my mother.
Right.
So I get back there, they take my scholarship, man, and they put me on the bus back home. And when I get home, my mom was waiting at the bus stop. She takes me to a place called Vernon Calhoun Meatpacking Plant. I killed cows. I killed cows for 6 months. I killed 600 cows a day for 6 months. I raised enough money. I had rubber boots on every day and a pocket and a knife. And I was a stomach man, so they put that cow stomach on the belt. I cut it and let the hay fall out of all 4 stomach sections. And I did that, man, until I raised enough money. I walked on to Navarro Junior College, earned a scholarship, man, and then we went on to become the 1989 national champions, undefeated. I had.
Hold on now, Hunkie, giving out my information. Hold on.
But playing ball in East Texas, man, playing ball in East Texas is an honor, man. It's a livelihood. It's a job. It's what you do. There's buses that leave high schools every Saturday for $25. You got a sack lunch and a ticket to a game, A&M game, to a Sam Houston State game, to a University of Texas game, and that's all we knew. So we knew the dope game, we knew, and we knew football, and football was my ticket, man. And I thank God that, I took the path that I had to take. It's like if I-15 was backed up, I could take the surface streets and still get there. It's going to take me a little longer. So it took me a little longer. I graduated from junior college and came to UNLV in 1990, and the rest of it is history.
Absolutely. Tell me about, you kind of brought it up right now, but you talked about the 1989 national championship, right, at Navarro College. Coming from where you came from, dealing with some of the things that you had in your background, how did that national championship season boost your confidence to a point where we're going to get to UNLV, so don't speak on UNLV yet. Huh?
Gotcha.
I really want to boost you up about that first season at UNLV. It's crazy. It's really crazy, for real. But talk about how that national championship built up your confidence where you felt like you could come here and just go crazy, go nuts.
It's kind of like you guys, man. Navarro College, man, was the last chance U before that was Independence College. Okay. It was Prop 48, so we had guys from LSU, we had guys from Oklahoma, we had guys that did not qualify or did not know about SAT or ACT. I did. I was a student council. I was the president of student council, but I had to take that path because of me running my mouth. I got there, man, and I had seen guys that I had never seen before. Our defense gave up a total net of 100 total yards per game. We had 15 All-Americans on that team. All I had to do was not mess it up, man. When I walked on, I earned a scholarship. There was a guy named Bob McElroy, about 5'6", about 160 pounds. That man scared me like he was 6'10". But he took a bunch of people that nobody believed in, and he was able to get us to play on one accord. The one thing he was really good at, he was able to get self out of the way. Get self out of the way. And that's what I try to do. If I can move self out of the way and allow somebody else in that's traveled the road that you're going, I can make you a better person, a better player. And I want to be where I can influence. Reason why I never coached in the NFL is because I think once you get the money, there's no more influence. But I can make CeeDee Lamb a better player. I can make him a better person, but I don't sell tickets. I'm expendable. It's nothing for an NFL team to pay you $1 million, but I don't sell tickets. He can go back. I'm coaching him too hard. He can go back and say, man, get Coach Coop up out of here, because I don't sell tickets. I don't sell jerseys. I don't have a merchandising license. And so for me, I want to be where I can influence. And that's between the ages of 5 and 24. I still have an influence because we had yearbooks and we had encyclopedias, and now they got Wikipedia. I ain't never met Wiki, but they got all my information on there. And I try to tell kids today, there's good information, there's bad information, there's misinformation. But what I want to give you is knowledge. That's because I've done it. I've traveled. I've become a father at an early age. I've done some things that I ain't supposed to do. But don't tell them all the good stuff. You got to tell them the bad. You got to let them see those potholes, man. Some people think speed bumps mean speed up. And so for me, man, it was the people that came into my life that saved my life, and they were coaches. So I owe everything to the profession. Like I said, my son is a safeties coach at Oregon State University, man. And the coaches that came in and saved my life, Jeff Horton, and my high school coach, Paul Talbot, and a guy named Danny White, who's been my mentor on and off the football field for over 30 years. And I try to honor them by the way that I live. But more than anything else, my father, who had to leave Green Bay High School, which was an all-black school that had reading, writing, and arithmetic. My father became one of the first original buck sergeants in the United States military, and he would be 99 this year. The number 14, everywhere I wore it, I wanted to make sure that I retired it, because that's when my father left me and I had to become a man. So the number 14 is sentimental to me. It means everything to me. And so when I went to Navarro College, I went by Hernandez. Because I wanted to leave all the things that I had done in the past. So I was a quarterback at number 25. And but we, like I said, we went undefeated there, man. Had a great career there, and I think Coach Mack and Coach Thomas and all the guys. I'm in a group chat right now with about 30 of those guys that are still living, man, and we talk every single day, man. And that's, you don't have relationships in the day and age now. Everybody's about me. Everybody's
Right.
about self, man. And so,
Let's,
for you
let's
guys to
do this. Hold
connect through
on, Huck. Let's
generations,
do
man.
this. Let's do this. Watch this. Watch this for a minute. Because I want to let you finish, but you just made a comment about something that I want to make sure we don't just pass it up. Because when I was looking it up today, I told you earlier behind scenes that when I found out what your whole name was, I was thrown off. Like, man, I didn't know that. And then when I went and did the research on how and why the name came about, I was really thrown like, wow, that's amazing, bro. So let me bring this up, Fred. You comment on it. Your name, Hernandez, as your first name, came from a pact from your father and his best friend in the Vietnam War, correct?
Correct.
And they said to each other that if one of them died in this war, the one that lived had to name their son or their next child after that person that died, correct?
Correct.
Man, come on, man.
And so that, for me, so that's why, it was that whoever was not to make it home was to name their firstborn son after, in the military, you go by last name. And so the Hispanic male, I looked for him for years and years and years in his family, and I honored it every Memorial Day, by Veterans Day, by, flags, every arena football and everything that I did, man. And that's why I have 3 boys, 138, 137, and the other one is 29. And I never named any of my boys Hernandez because it was a sentimental name given to me. But all my boys' middle name is James, which is my father's first name, and that's my middle name as well. So my father's name was James Willis Cooper. So Hernandez James is my name, and Cooper is my common name, my last name. And so for me, man, that was always huge, and I always tried to make a pack about it. And so I wanted to honor that name, man, and it's been good to me. And if I wish we could have found the family, because I honored it the way I live and the way I'm honored the way I die as well. So, but no, that was a pack, man, and that's really that's how it all came about.
That's one of the dopest stories. Like I said, I did my research today, huh? OG, I did my research today. I was excited.
He dug down up in there and got that right there.
No doubt.
On, man.
Yeah.
So,
no doubt. That's real stuff.
I was real. I like that. That really, like I'm telling you, it gives me chills right now. I was like, yo, that's dope. And I had known you for years. I've known you for years and never knew that story. Didn't even know that was your first name. But to come about that story and find out why that name was given to you, that was awesome. Secondly, you might not know this, and I know Coach Brad knew before he passed, but in Coach Randy Stewart and Coach Mike Bradison recruiting me to UNLV, I was a dad at that time too. I had my first child 15, 16 years old. And I knew that I wanted to stay around UNLV because my baby was here. But Reno was on me tough, right? And y'all know the rivalry between us and Reno.
Right.
They showed up, Coach Brad showed up at the airport with Coach Stewart before I went on my Reno trip. And he reminded me, Randy, you know Hunkie Cooper, right? I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah, he had a child at a young age too and came to UNLV and everything worked out for him. I just wanted to make sure that we reminded you of that before you took your trip to Reno, that we always make sure that our people here is taken care of, right? So for a long time, Hunk, you was an idol of mine prior to us really sitting down and chopping it up, right? But you was an idol of mine because you had went through the same situation that I was going through when I was there. You know what I'm saying? So that first spring that I got to sit down and talk to you, get to know who you was, watch a little film on you, was really the first time that it hit me like I met Ronnie Lott when John Robinson was here, right? And not to make a comparison, but to me, Hunkie Cooper was almost Ronnie Lott, you know what I'm saying? Based upon everything that I had already learned about you and the scenarios of us being so close and having children at a very young age and having to fight through that to be able to be the best person, best father, best student, best football player that we can be. So I want to say thank you first and foremost. And again, you probably don't never even know this, but thank you for being that motivation to me at UNLV and you didn't even know.
Man, I appreciate it, man. It's I've been a lot of things, man. I've had a lot of success, but the best thing I've ever been in my life, man, is a father, a grandfather, and a husband. And I'm with my same way. I met my wife over at the student union, man, and we're in our 35th year, man. And I just
Couch 101. You was at Couch 101. You was sitting
yeah,
on
no,
Couch
no, no,
101.
no, no. I was outside of the student union. I was outside of the student union. There was so many education left in the student union, so that was my deal, man. Was to walk around it, man. And I was a little country boy from East Texas, man. I had on some rayon shirt, man, some Cohan, boy. You couldn't tell me I was short, you know. But no, man, everything this university has done for me, man. If I had $10 billion, I couldn't repay it, man. So I have to serve. This is my ministry, man. And again, like I said, meeting Blue and Ron Drake and Dr. Cohurst, man. These dudes took me in like I played with them, man. And that was the brotherhood that I was used to. And when I got here, I wasn't used to losing. So in the first game I ever played here, I scored 4 touchdowns. Everybody was talking about going to Club 30-something. I'm like, man, what's Club 30-something? It was Frank Hawkins.
Don't go too far with that because you played 6 positions, scored 4 touchdowns.
I ain't going there. But I was just like, man, I was like, we down 4 touchdowns at halftime. They talking about going out. I'm not used to this, man. I ain't never played from behind in a long time. But no, man, thank you for staying there, man. There was some guys from LA, some Santana Block dudes, man, Greg Gales. There was some dudes that they didn't think we were entitled to have success, man. And I took Greg Gales and Randy Gaywood and took those guys to Arizona with me, man, and they became really, really good players, but they became fathers and they became professionals and they became people. And it was nothing, I don't drink, but Greg had never had Mo Wet, and you're entitled to this, man. You've earned this. You've given up so much for so little, man. And I want to show you the finer things in life. And Gabriel lived with me for a while, man. So it's just the brotherhood here at UNLV, man. And that's going again, Blue and Hot Dog. And all these dudes, man.
I remember when we got on the road to come down there. When we all came to try out.
When I tell you, man, it was just Blue, man. The way I wore my uniform, the way I spatted my shoes, like Anthony Blue. I didn't, that Cali spat was different than that Texas spat, and we had sharks and ponies on. But Blue tape was never at the bottom of the shoe. That U around the back, man. It was no wrinkles in it. I'm like, man, this dude look like this is painted on like you in Grambling Man. They had that white on their boots, man. Blue was always that was pride, man, and and people don't know if you look good, you play good, and whatever product you putting out there. Like right now, these dudes want to sag and got shirts hanging on underneath. I say, you talking about NIL? That's your name, image, and likeness. Ain't nobody putting that on side their tax. Ain't nobody putting that on side their casino. So man, you better fall in line, man. There's so much opportunity, and that's what I'm trying to teach these young men now. It's about financial literacy, about self-marketing, about life after football, about building relationships, man, and about networking. And so, no, man, this is a great platform for it. So I'm glad you guys are extending this opportunity to me, man, because what you guys done and what I've done goes unnoticed, for a lot of reasons. But I don't do it for the pat on the back. I do it because it needs to be done. And I know the young men that I put out here as a director of football player development, young ladies, my daughter's going to have to date one of them. So I'm very meticulous about the young men and the way I develop. My daughter's not going to sit in a car with you with a dude that's got a flat waiting on AAA because she know how to change a flat.
Right.
That's the last time you're going to see her. You know what I mean? So,
and you should be able to know how to change a flat for real. Not my daughter, but if you can't, my daughter will do it for you, though.
100%. So no, man, that's it, man. And again, I just can't say enough about the university and the alumni here, man. That's why I wanted to honor the 84 team, the 94 team, 74 team. We're gonna honor another team coming up this year. We're gonna reveal all that stuff. The 2000 team, man. So that John Robinson and that beat Arkansas. So we're going to continue to honor the past because a lot of these guys are not here to get that degree. They're here to get another opportunity to get a shot at the NFL. But again, that ain't gonna fly with me. You're not here about the history of the Fremont Cannon and Jeff Horton and Chris Auld and all these guys, man, and Brock Marion. And if you're not here for that, man, and to graduate and become a productive citizen of our community, man, then you should stop somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Let me go into this question for you. I know that you did some coaching. I mean, you played your career as a player, UNLV. I know that the NFL didn't work out for you. You even ended up working in the casino for a little while. And then that's how you met the GM of the Rattlers, right? Mm-hmm. He offered you a contract to come out there and play, right? So you play. We ain't gonna talk about your Rattler career, bro. Nobody needs to discuss that. If they don't know Hunkie Cooper, Arena Football, Arizona Rattlers, They sleeping. You was one of the best players all time ever in arena football history. We're not even gonna go through that. I done gave you your flowers and accolades. If they don't understand that, they not listening. What I want to talk about is there's a point in time when you decided to go into coaching, and you was with the Utah Blaze at first, and I think that was arena as well. Like I think it was arena 1, but it might have been arena 2. You went to Canyon Springs, right? And then there was an opportunity. I gotta understand this, because there was an opportunity for you to coach wide receivers at San Diego State. Did you go there because Coach Horton was there?
Well, what I did was when I left, I played in arena football for 15 years. And then, you know, we talk about the CFL. I went to the CFL in 91 with the BC Lions. Then I came back and played. I went to the casino. I worked for Michael Gunn. I was finishing up my degree. I was working for Mr. Gunn with the Game Control Board is what I wanted to do, become a part of. Got my degree. Guy named Pete Catella that used to coach here, coached with the Washington Redskins. And he was coaching with Coach George Allen that when they dumped the Gatorade on the UNLV game, he passed away. So Pete and his wife, Jill, Pete was just like, you know, I'm looking, you know, I want to, guy had been in my job 3 or 4 times. I'm like, I don't owe nobody no money. I'm up on my child support. Right. So I'm like, what this man looking for me for? And he said, man, I want to see if you would be willing to, you know, come out and work out for us at Arizona. I said, well, I got a job right now. I'm a provider. I got kids to take care of. I got insurance and benefits. I've been working for Mr. Gunn for quite a while. And I said, but what I will do, I'll come to camp. I said, but I won't come try out. I said, I'll come to camp and I'll be ready. And when I got there, man, 4th string, I thought I was going to play quarterback, you know, the arena league, small field, change directions, you know, scramble. I got there, they had me a receiver. And a guy named Todd Shell, that was a 2nd-round draft pick out of BYU, played with the 49ers, put me on the net. He said, man, I was 4th string. I'm looking at these dudes. I'm like, none of these dudes got what I got. I'm like, but you know, you use the work and you put it on the field or you get cut. And so by the time we got out of the last preseason game, I was a starter. And in that year, I had over 1,400 yards receiving, 1,400 yards in returns, and 20 yards. Yeah, and I had over 20 touchdowns. Yeah, and we played in 24 games. We played 21, 3 preseason, 15 regular season, 3 postseason, man. And I made $11,000. But I saw the market. I saw these are all teams in NFL markets with NBA basketball teams. So my world started spinning then. Okay, after I won the MVP, I got picked up by the Saints. I go to camp with the Saints. I don't make it out of camp. They hire a guy, and they sign a guy named Michael Haynes, who was a wide receiver at Torrance Smalls. I got cut from them, and so I left there. I was on my way to Dallas. Dallas picked me up on waivers, and I got to Dallas, and they didn't sign me to an offer sheet. They had an offer sheet, but they never signed it. Danny White, I called Danny. I said, man, I called down there. It was a guy named Zampese, Ernie Zampese. At the time, was a big guy, and his son ended up being my GA and working for me. His grandson. And so then I said, what do they want to do, man? I said, they got Kevin Smith, they got Dion, they got all these dudes down there, man. They don't need me. I don't want to be a camp body. He said, it was Friday night. I flew into Arizona Friday night, played against the Charlotte Rays, and scored 5 touchdowns on Saturday. And then just the whole offense. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make this arena football game what it is. And so I started the AFL POC, which is the Arena Football League Player Organizing Committee, which means they couldn't lock us out. We couldn't strike. I got all the second opinion doctors and I just wanted insurance and benefits for our guys. I wanted Jerry Colangelo, the owner of the Phoenix Suns and the Coyotes at the time and the Diamondbacks. He took care of me, but I wanted to make sure everybody else is sustainable. And so that's what I did. So for those years, man, I hired a local union out of Chicago. And, man, I went in with both feet, man, try to start the Players Association, Players Union. If we started an association and a union, they could lock us out and we could strike. But the organizing committee, we couldn't. And so I try to, young guys don't understand money. I'm trying to see money, life after football, pensions. A lot of people work for paychecks. I work for pensions. I mean, you're going to get money when you can't work no more and you can take care of people. So finally, my contract, I told you I played 21 games and made $11,000. When I left, I was making $17,000 a game. I had full insurance and benefits. I had filed an antitrust lawsuit against the league. I secured $2 million for people that played before me, like Osei Lewis and Mike McDade, who played here. And so I was able to take care of the people that came and started this game. And then when I left, man, and I started the Utah Blaze, which is AF1 in Utah, I went with Danny. I was offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and a special teams coordinator 3 different years. And then after that, I just said, you know what? I want to go home. My son's about to be a freshman. That's when I lost my father. And I started the Canyon Springs Pioneer Football Program, middle school programs, and I developed them. And we went in there. I hired some really, really good coaches, man. And we went in there 6 o'clock, 6:01, you're late. 3 no calls, no show, you're done. I don't care if you run a 4-0 40. You're gonna wear it. If I didn't buy it, you're gonna wear it. But that's the discipline I had to go in and do it. Every Wednesday, you got a pink slip, and that was a progress report. If you had a D on it, then I had something called D Hill. I put you on the back. I had 5 wheelbarrows of 55 pounds of bricks, and I had 8 or 10 and 12-pound sledgehammer, 15 right, 15 left. And so if you can't sit in an air-conditioned classroom for 50 minutes, this is going to determine what you're doing at the age of 50. And so at parents' meetings, so I showed them what FAFSA was, and I showed them what discipline was. And so after school, me and my wife, we cooked about 150, 200 hot links every day. And so they would get hot links, a Gatorade, and a bag of chips for $5. I took all that money and put it back into the program. I had a private donor. She still won't let me say her name. They gave me $25,000 for coaches every year. I bought them all. I bought all the gear and everything. But I told my coaches, you can't hold a kid to a higher standard than you hold yourself to.
Absolutely.
You know? And so we did it the right way. I told the principal, I said, I guarantee you I know how to build young men. We took our SAT scores from 840 to 1240. We took our ACT scores from 14 to 24. And now I got academic money, I got athletic money, I got diversity money. And another thing I know is I had 150 guys in the program. If you got 150 guys that give up their summer and academically inclined, and so you start the school year off right, then we took football players and put them in basketball. We took basketball players and put them in wrestling. So we were trying to get the money. I wanted to show them life after football, but I raised enough money to where, that we could send parents on unofficial visits and I could pay for gas and hotels. And I want those kids to see it. Now, I would get kids from juvenile court. I would get kids from juvenile probation and parole that would be on house arrest. They could practice with me and they could have the academic services, but they could not play. They had a shirt and tie. I wrote a letter to Costco. Costco gave me 150 shirts and ties, mandatory shirts and ties on game day. And all those judges that were putting my kids in jail and making them felons, we got a leadership and law prep academy, and only law they understood at the time was put your hands on the hood. After you've been running this hot car in 100-degree weather, you want this kid to put his hands on the hood. You want him to sit on the curb. No, that's not the way we're going to treat him. So they started bringing them to me, and they would bring them to me, and we would discipline them the way I need to do with the wheelbarrows and the bricks and everything, and everybody wanted to be a part. So I flooded the community with Canyon Springs, and with Canyon Springs get discount cards. My name is AJ Cooper. I'm a member of Canyon Springs football program. If he said, I'm trying to extend my academic careers through my athletic abilities. If you buy this discount card for $10, and even if they said no, they knew we were articulate. They knew that we had on Canyon Springs logo. I had 2 kids stealing at a gas station. Commission went from $6,000 a month to $2,000 a month. They were stealing that much candy. So I went over and I saw the cameras, and they had on Canyon Springs gear. And I saw one of my kids had cash in one pocket and a debit card. So we were getting ready to prepare for film for Las Vegas High School, who was a rivalry in the standard. And I was getting ready to go through what they did on the field, offensively, defensively, and how we were going to attack them. And the kids were getting ready, and I put them up in the store stealing. I said, you just misrepresented 150 people, all of our parents and everything. So you're going to go to this gas station. You're going to wash cars until you make enough money to pay this guy his commission back, until you can pay for 5 players each to play Nevada youth football. And that's the only way they could get back on the team. And they did it. They both graduated from there. They both went on to college. And that's what it was, because the standard is the standard. And it's not compromisable, whether you good, bad, have good days, bad days, whether you're homeless or you're not. And that's what we did. And I created an 8.6-mile run. And it was, when I first took off, police were stopping us. We can't cross the street, you can't do this. We ran all the way to Lake Meridian and Las Vegas Boulevard, the shade tree. 150 young men. I said, how many of y'all have mothers and sisters and daughters? They raised their hand. I said, how many of you allow another man to put your hands on them? All their hands dropped. I said, then you can't put your hands on women, because this is where they come to rebuild their lives through no fault of their own. I said, so what we do, I lined them up 15. I said, statistics say 1 in 4 Black Hispanic males be dead or locked up of violent crime by the time they're 20, 21. So I separated 25% of the team. I said, if you prove statistics right, all y'all are dead. I lined them up 15 rows deep, 15 rows across 10 deep. I take them to the cemetery. First African-American grave we came to, born in 1975, died in 1996, basketball player, and now became real. And so I would not let them video or televise it as they ran it. You can ride in the car. You don't feel the blisters on your feet. You don't feel the heat. You don't feel the water, sweat running in your eyes. You don't feel I get tired. And I'm looking at guys. I'm looking for leaders. Right now, I was finding out who I was giving the ball to on third down, who's going to be my team captain, because the guy that ran back and got the last guy, And the guys that never complained, the guys that quit, the guys that stopped, and who went back to get them? Did you bring a Band-Aid if you got a blister? Did you refill the water bottle that gave you? So I was building character and toughness then. And we went on, we beat Las Vegas and Desert Pines and won conference championship. But like you said, Jerron Kreiner, Ravion Samuels, Devontae Christopher. Canyon Springs had 3 head coaches in 4 years. And so I took over that job. I never applied for it. I told them I would help them hire the people to do it. But Dr. Iway said, why won't you take the job? I said, because I want to be able to be fully committed to it. And I took the job for almost from 2009 to 2015. And then Rocky Long and Jeff Horton, they called me and asked me if I would be willing to come be the wide receiver coach. I was running day clubs. I was making close to $400,000. I was running Encore Beach Club, Open Ed, Excess, and Tryst. Then I opened Daylight and Light. I took about a $400,000 pay cut to go to San Diego State, but we went there. I recruited all Vegas kids, me and Hort, and East Texas and LA, and we were in the top 25 teams in San Diego State for all those years. But now that I'm back at UNLV, we've had the largest recruiting class in the history of the school, and we had the most wins behind Anthony Blue and all those guys. So doing it the right way, man, doing it with local talent, and trying to create the history that we left, but to let these guys tap into it, man, and why not us? Why not us?
Listen, I'm glad you told this story, because at the same time you at Canyon Springs, we are starting black and blue football in the Southeast, and we're recruiting some of the best kids in the Valley. And I had just left Las Vegas High School, coaching there 2 years, 1 year state championship, 1 year we lost to Desert Pines. It was probably my fault. I got real cocky, and my DB was ranked #1 that year. I had taught them how to bump and run very well, and I felt like we could bump and run Canyon Springs the whole game, and we couldn't. We got beat on some deep ones, and it ended up losing us that game. And I know Sink never said nothing to me, but I know that he was probably pissed at me because I was in bump and run the whole game. But my point to saying that is there was a time in the city of Las Vegas, especially North Las Vegas, where Canyon Springs is, where Somerset Losi is now. That area was owned by Hunkie Cooper. That area changed. You talked about just the crime going down, but I'm not going to just talk about crime. I'm going to talk about commitment from kids in an area that didn't have the commitment prior to Hunkie Cooper getting there. I'm going to talk about a football program where kids were willing to quit on their coaches, even in the middle of a game. I'm taking my stuff off. I'm going home right now. Feel me? I know a lot of the stories that was happening in that area, and there is a 6 to 7 year period when Hunkie Cooper showed up where that wasn't the frame of the picture no more. So I want to salute you there as well, as a mentor, as a coach, as an inspiration, because you definitely helped me in that matter in starting Black and Blue and wanting to do this program for my 2 uncles that helped bring me up, right? But to see Hunkie doing it at a high school level made me go like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to a private school, and I'm going to do the same thing. And I don't care if the kid's white, black, green, yellow, I don't care what color they are. I'm going to show this private school that even if it's flag football, middle school, high school, whatever it is, I'm going to show you how I can change the diversity of your school, as well as show the commitment level to your athletes and change everything about your school simply by getting them invested in football, brother. You started that, bro. So I want to salute you for that, because it ain't too many coaches in the Valley. I coached under Sinkovich. I coached under Alex Moore. I'm not saying Alex Moore was anything like Sinkovich. Sinkovich was a total different type of beast. You feel what I'm saying? But I know that there have been some coaches in the Valley that have done some things, and there's been some coaches in the Valley that have changed some things. And to me, there's a difference in that. So I want to make sure I salute you in that, because I hold you up to standard like Anthony Blue and Winton Blue. These are men that change kids' lives forever. You understand? It ain't a lot of coaches in the Valley that can say that, brother.
I've never seen Win Blue have a bad day. I've never seen that guy not smiling or around kids, around sports. Even if he didn't have a kid in there, that's my guy, man. I go to Desert Pines. He coming out there. When I'm at San Diego State, he coming out there on the Gator. And he get off work, go to coaching, man. That's my dog, man. the Blue Boys, man, they are men of faith, man. They don't they care about kids. They care about development of kids, and they care about life after football. That's what's important, man. And so for me, with Coach Sink was my GA. I just talked to Coach Sink 2 days ago. I got some of my young coaches speaking at a clinic to help Coach Sink out. Coach Sink is nothing but the very best, man. And at Canyon, man, again, people don't know I coached 4 years at Bishop Gorman. And and there was a guy named David White that was the head coach. And then the minute he said,
Dave White,
so Dave White, and I love Dave, but Dave and I had to get into it with Dave because he said, "You here to play football? You play football?" I said, "No, he's here to get an education." I said, "You got him here to play football." But he's here because DeMarco Murray lived on the west side, right behind on Losey and North Fifth. But he was at Gorman. His dad owned a security company. And when there was a black issue he wanted me to deal with, it's a white issue he wanted us. No, when it's a football issue, you the head coach, you deal with it. And I'm going to tell you if you dealt with it appropriately, but not in the presence of these kids. And so I love Dave to death, man, but it was just for me, it was time for me to go. I said, I need to go over here. It's easy to raise money at Gorman. I can put a box out and we need somebody dry clean, $15,000 check. Footballs, I need that. But at Canyon, we had to get out and get it. And the community came in behind me because we had never had something like they broke Cheyenne High School was actually Legacy, Mojave, Canyon Springs, and now Sunrise Mountain. And so all those schools were Cheyenne High School, but Cheyenne was a standard and they was beating Gorman.
Yeah.
And so they broke it up. And you look at David Peoples and all those kids that went, Quinn Carter, all those kids went to school over there. You go back to Eddie Hartwell, and they broke it up. Yeah. And so then now Gorman is a big powerhouse. But for me, man, the deal for me was about life after football. When this game is over, can you speak in an articulate manner? Can you self-promote yourself? Can you go out and fill out an application? It's like UNLV. Is this degree going to be sustainable? I have 1,825 days to set you up the next 50 years of your life. And I don't want to miss a day. And the ones that run from it, you're going to run to it later. You know what I mean? Right. I got 6'5" guys. I say, you NFL, less than half of it. Think about this. That's 32 teams with 53 man roster. That's 1,800 jobs. But it's 15,000 as coaching, as analysts, and on the next level. But everybody think the NFL is. And then too, if you don't get your pension, you wasted 3 years of your life. And if you keep chasing it, that means you postpone your next career. So for me, I try to put that in front of them, man. I have job fairs here with over 200 employers. And I have them do a resume. What if your resume is right and everything is right and your interview is right, and then you still get rejected? How to do a follow-up call? So those are things that I want to teach you, man. And but man, the game taught me everything, and I have a responsibility to the game, not to these dudes that's coming in from Power 5 schools and thinking that we don't play football out here in the Mountain West. They're gonna see we play football in the Mountain West. But the other thing is, man, is the community and Steve Starworth and these guys and the Fertitas, I coach their kids, and Sartinis, but at the end of the day, man, I'm about our kids that need that male role model, and somebody that'll tell them the truth, somebody that is getting there behind, but also tell them what they did was wrong, why it was wrong. This is how we're handling it moving forward. Don't just put them in the system. Absolutely. And I held I live with 2 North Las Vegas mayors. We're my neighbors. Commissioner Lawrence Weekly, we started the Latin Chamber of Commerce. We had pararescue from Nellis Air Force Base jumping out, presenting the game ball. We did it the right way. We did the Susan G. Komen Foundation. We did the Walk for Hearts because, again, and we fed 150 families, not plates, every single year. We fed turkeys and everything. And when you take a kid that has nothing and he sees somebody that has less than them, it'll prick their heart for the rest of their life. And that's what I wanted to do in that community.
Absolutely. I know. Let's talk about you got anything on that portion? Or I want to go to UNLV now. You got anything right there?
You muted.
I think you muted, I can't hear you.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. Just bringing Hunkie through the ropes, back in the day when it was like when we played flag, and we just showed him that we were trying to build a family, early, because we took pride in the school. So really passing it down to him when we playing flag and talking all the crap and doing what we do, it was just it built that whole scenario. Like I said with Black, when we started really developing the football players and Pop Warner, because that's where I got him at. And that was really the key. But again, you find those good hearts that's gonna pay it forward, basically.
Yes, sir.
That was me and Kirk's job. and George Alonso and all those UNLV guys when I built that team that coached him. But we did them just like pros, and that's what it's about. So the main thing,
and not all of us got it though. Not all of us got it though. See that's what I'm telling y'all. I got chills. Some people ain't gonna never get it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it don't make sense. Here's a better one for you because I want to transition this into UNLV too. This year at my school, it's Nevada Reading Week, right? Me and Hunkie done talked off and on for 2-3 years, right? Come to practice, Black. I want to get involved in some things at UNLV, huh? Come to practice. I introduce you to the coach. He's a good dude. And we're going to do this, and that, right? And this is before the new coach, before Coach Mullen came in. So I hit Hunkie up like, Hunk, I got some stuff going on at my school, Nevada Reading Week. Can you get me some athletes? Hunkie didn't even stop. He didn't even stop. Like, how many you need? What you need? How can we do it? Right? To me, that's what's most important. I think it goes back up to the conversation we had in the last episode. Like, us alumni got to work together in order for UNLV to respect us enough to say, what about the alumni? If we in the streets making it happen for our community, the school, not just the football team, the school has to say, look at our alumni. Look what they're involved in. Look what they're doing. Look how they're changing the community, right? To me, that was important. And to hear Hunkie be like, bro, just tell me what you need. I'll make it happen. And then my school was flooded with athletes, volleyball players, golf, wrestlers, football. Like, I was sitting there so proud to say, this is my school. This is where I went to school.
Right.
My kids like, Coach, you know them? No, I don't know them. But they part of my family because we all went to UNLV, right? So just right now, the triangle that we have on the podcast today is amazing because it shows the growth. I hear you talking about Hunkie and flag. The crazy part is, as soon as I got out of college, you know where they put me at? You know where Witten said to come down here, let me introduce you to this flag football. Let me show you about this grown man flag football that we out here playing. You feel me? When I was getting ready for the NFL Combine, when I didn't make the NFL League, you know who said, Black, come down here, let's get in this flag. Let me show you what, like, so I understand the triangle. I understand how it works. You feel me? So talk to me about, Hunk, your community engagement and the director of player development, but more your community engagement and what that role means to you now at UNLV.
So I created this title. When I first came in, I was a director of football player development, community engagement, NFL liaison. I had a lot of success at San Diego State with NFL guys, getting the guys there, guys coming from Alabama, guys coming from big schools, but not starting for me because I got a standard. There's some things above the line, there's some things below the line. Above the line means you can be 5'9", you can run a 4'4", 4'5", but putting your hands on women and guns, and that's below the line. I'll never compromise on those things. But coming back to UNLV was a full circle moment for me, man. I retired from the state of California. Rocky Longer left. I stayed 3 years with Brady Hoke. I was associate head coach there. We would put 25, 27 guys in the NFL, walk-ons. Every year, a walk-on earned a scholarship, man, and that's development. Nobody wants to develop. Nobody wants to coach on the lower level. Nobody wants to develop kids, and Blue just said it. They were coaching you guys and Pop Warner on a professional level.
Right. And
that's the standard. That's the standard, man. And that's why you had an opportunity to get there, because if you coach a guy as he is, that's where he's going to be. But if you coach a guy as where he can be, then that's what it's going to be too. So that's huge, man. But for me to come back to UNLV, I'm now associate athletic director, man, and I want to just keep putting knowledge in my head. I created the NIL model last year. We ran it for 2 years off of 400,000. Now we got millions, in it. But our players that they came in, they were academically they're all Americans and athletically they're all Americans. They got drafted. And I know the standard can't be compromisable. And everybody now just looks for ability. What about accountability? What about being on time? What about doing what you say you're going to do? What about durability? You're the best player we got, but if you're out for 8 games, that does us no good. And now you're investing this money in them. I don't want to give them money. I'm not going to ask a guy that I've known for 35 years so a guy can drive a GLE 53 Benz up here. I'm not doing that. And so none of these guys are as good as you were, as good as I were, and they never will be because they never went through the stuff that we went through. Right. And that's the same thing with our kids. My son was a good player. He would never be as good as I was because he never had to go through the things that we went through. And so what we do is we want them to have it better than what we had, and along the way they end up expecting it rather than respecting.
So let's this.
And
Is that
so,
called the hunger? Is that the hunger?
yeah, you can't never lose that. That same only thing that changes is the size of the stands and the fans, man. The field is still 53 and a third, 120 yards. You know, but for me, the game is a certain way the game got to be played. It's the same way, a certain way the game got to be prepared for. We got all these rules and regulations. I told you, we used to have 3 days. You know, you couldn't even cut your tape off. You know, you go to do something, you come back. You know what I mean? Now they got masseuse, they got 5-star charter. I mean, 5-star hotel. They got chartered flights to $3 to $500,000. They get Nike. They got 6 or 7 different. And we had a home jersey and away jersey. We ain't never had no decals when I played, but that don't change the way I play the game. And as a quarterback, I got to be able to get us in and out of the bad situations. So playing 6 positions here, you know, I was a football player. You need me to play corner, I'm gonna play corner. Because as a quarterback, I knew coverages. I knew split safety versus 1 high. You can only be a man free of cover 3 if you got 1 high. Right. If you got split safety, you can be 2, 6, or 4. You know, and so I know who the force player is. I know if I got it. So for every 1 hour film those young guys used to watch, I used to watch 5 because I had to be right. Then you got a guy named Keenan Carter. You got a guy named Jerry Reynolds. You know, a guy named Henry Bailey, Damon Thompson. You had all these guys with ability, but the accountability they didn't understand the accountability it took. You become a good football player when it's not football season. You know what I mean? So for me, man, to come back here 30 years removed, 35 years removed, man, and to get in this role of community engagement, because I know the community, everybody, think about this. Before there was a Las Vegas Aces, before there was a Golden Knights, before there was a Las Vegas Thrill, before there was a City Hawk, that was UNLV football, and they played at Cashman Field.
UNLV.
1968, they played at Cashman Field. And so for me, everybody's coming in. They won championships. We had expansion teams. We have new teams. And now, so why can't it be us?
Yeah.
You see everybody where UCLA to Michigan, Ohio State. Mm-hmm. Why can't it be us? We're close to the 12-team playoffs. Why can't it be us? Barry Odom done an amazing job and discipline our players and going to get guys that fit what we do. Marlon has picked up on that, and now I think we have more ability. It's going to be a great season for us, but we got to get the accountability. We have to work on our discipline because, again, this talent without discipline is just talent. And so for me, man, to be able to connect our young man with jobs with Steve Wynn and with Michael Gunn and with the Fertitta family, and to be able to get guys in our community that have been good players, but not only good players, good people. And like I said, you know, Tony Smeltzer, I send people to his mount. We've done over. We're in the Mountain West. We lead the Mountain West Conference right now in community service. 3 Square Food Bank, March of Dimes, also with the Salvation Army. And I want these kids out there in the community, man, because right now I'm looking for groups that have a nonprofit status that I can give 20 tickets to per week. Youth football, retired fire department. I'm talking about military, PTSD guys, police officers, families that have been, killed in the line of duty, man. So I'm always trying to find a way that I can enhance this community, man, because this community, when I was a young boy from East Texas, man, and my eyes were wide open, man, I was looking for a place that I could call my own, and I can call Vegas home. And I'm not, do I want to go back on the football field? Right now, I just want to create this administrative path where I could redirect young men and get them out of their own way. But I'm still always sharpening my game. I coach coaches now. I get to look at the structure of practice. I get to look at what it costs to buy this, what it costs to build this. So when my opportunity comes, I want to be ready, because it's going to take an inside person to fix an inside job. And, we've been hiring a lot of people that have no ties to UNLV. I was just with Stacey Ogden and the new president of the university last week, and that's the first time Stacey and I have been together in 35 years. Mm-hmm. And so I want to continue to bring people back like you. When you come out to practice, it makes me proud to tell them that you was an All-American and that you was a big safety. And it makes me proud to have Blue to come over and his guys, when we went out to eat at the place and all, I got to hang out with him and Randall and all these guys. And I'm looking at all these junior college guys out of California and then Coach Hyde, and I'm looking at them like, man, these some dudes. Right. And it just, for me, man, it's like to be able to say that these are my brothers at arms, man, and these guys were the first guys to win. They try to take that away from me. I wanted to honor that, man. And so I'm going to continue to try to develop these young men, and that be proud that you can be in our community, and also that be somebody that you can call your son-in-law. So on me, man, if I leave UNLV, It's because the vision that I have and know what can be in this community is not with the vision that the leadership have, and I want to always try to stay tied and connected with them.
You got anything before we wrap it up?
Hey,
No, man, I just want to say this, man. I
said it
appreciate you
all.
guys, man.
yeah,
Listen,
he said it all.
Hunkie, you ain't gotta appreciate us, because what we wanted to do when we started this podcast, and I think me and you was texting back and forth. There's so many of us alum that left the school and left the school. We had no
Bitter.
ties to it. There was nothing that brought us back. You know what I mean? There was no connection left besides we bled, cried, and beat ourselves up for this school, for an opportunity to get an education. But a lot of us didn't feel like we were still tied to the school, right? So in starting this podcast,
That's right.
we wanted to do something to be able to tie us all back to the school, right? And you might not know it, but you're the first guest. And I told Unc last week in episode 1, like, yo, I want the first guest to be Hunkie. And I want him to be Hunkie because it sets the standard of the type of guests we gonna have. If
Right.
the guests ain't like this, if the guests ain't these people, if the guests ain't this strong in the alumni family, if it ain't really that brotherhood, then I'm sorry, don't take it the wrong way, but I don't want you on the podcast. I want real alumni,
That's right.
real people that I'm a rebel. I've been a rebel. We all rebels. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I said again, this triangle for me is way bigger than just the podcast, because I'm on
Right.
here with two of my idols that I grew up getting to watch and I got to talk to as a grown man, and now I can sit here and be part of that same triangle as people that I grew up admiring and looked at as mentors. So I'm just blessed and thankful that you made it onto the show tonight. I know Unc was excited about it. So it's really a salute to you, brother. It ain't nothing on us at all, bro.
No, man, I appreciate it, man. And all the alumni know you don't need my email address, you need my cell phone number, man. And everybody has it. You have my cell number, you share it. If there's a request, man, I'm gonna try to fill that request. You guys come out to practice, let me know. I'm gonna put a landing on you that say VIP. I want you guys to walk the hallway and look at all these pictures, man. I go back and look at all these pictures, man, and I'm like, man, you don't even know these kids don't even know Glenn Carano and Ick and all these Blue and all these guys that were in the NFL and how much pride these guys had, man. So again, man, I salute you guys. I appreciate you, man. And any way I can ever help advance the show or just advance UNLV, you know, you guys, y'all family to me, man. So blood can make us any closer, man. I love y'all and I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely, huh?
Good job, Hunk. That's what we talking about, man. We just,
Uncle Blue, how you gonna close us out today? You didn't do no commercials or nothing today.
man.
What's
Look,
up?
we going straight through it, and I was over here watching my signal, making sure. But this is an honored opportunity, and friends and longtime friends, and we watched we all seen each other grow. I watched you guys grow, and like I said, there's nothing but love here, and just like we probably need to get that box like they gave Gruden. We might need one of those for the show.
Get on him! Get on him!
You already know I'm going in. We might need one of those for the show. So we gonna be here every week. 2 shows. We're gonna have one before game, and we're gonna have this stuff.
Send me the address, man. I got you.
Okay. I've been on your head about
Send me
it.
the address.
He's been on your head, Hunkie, about it. He been like, yo, they gave Gruden a good present box. Where our present box at? I said, get on him then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Hey, holla at your boy. You got my number. Holla at your boy.
Love,
Yeah,
Hunkie.
I ain't afraid to ask for nothing in Vegas. Nothing.
Hey, holla at your boy, man. Hey,
All right.
we got some nice gear, man. Holla at your boy.
In a minute.
All right, man. I love y'all, man.
I love you too.
What you want to do, Unc? How we going to close this thing out, man?
I'm gonna come on back.
Come on.
We're gonna come on back. I'm gonna bring us up.
Let's do it.
Whoop. Here we go. Here we up in the building again. Yeah, that was one. That was a show right there. That was a good one. You know,
Nice.
it's good. Like I said, this is why it's called Black and Blue. See, you get to do the talking. I'll stay behind the scenes. I'll throw a little bit in there. But this was like you said, it was the triangle. I mean, that was really a triangle because he talked about how he watched me spat my shoes and then you watching him, and this is what it's all about. So it's definitely what it's all about.
6 degrees of separation, huh?
Yeah.
6 degrees of separation. Yeah. Good show. This is a good show. This is a good show today, huh? I mean, last week was a good show too, though. But today they got to see what the podcast is really about. You know what I mean? Last week we talked about ourselves, and people might have looked at it and been like, "Man, what they talking about?" But today they got to see that our focus and the drive of what we want to get done, man, is bring in the alumni that have been so influential on what UNLV is, man. The reason why I went there, the reason why you went there, the reason why Hunkie went there. There's people that was there that made us go there, right? There's people that were involved that made us want to be there, right? So, and I know, especially for me, absolutely, Kirk Jones, Anthony Blue. Come on, man. Like I can just talk about the way I was raised. When they came knocking on my door, I've been like, "What you been waiting so long for? Why y'all? What took you so long? You should have been here first." You feel me? But I think that's what's important that people know about the podcast is that we're gonna do the football, and we're gonna talk our little shit, and we're gonna do what we do. But it's really about the alumni that we're gonna be bringing in to interview and talk about, and the blood, sweat, and tears that all these alum have put in for just to put them pads on, man, and to wear that scarlet and gray, man. It's important to me.
Yeah, it's Rebels talking about Rebels with ex-Rebels. That's basically what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, good show, huh? Good show, man.
Good show. I mean, like I said, and we gonna tighten this thing up. We getting there. We'll be ready for Saturday. So we'll be ready for Saturday. So we're getting that. Do some research and get Saturday's show together and go from there. So
I gotta still get in touch with Mark Wellington. I gotta call him tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get us on the field.
Just make it happen.
Hunkie brought it up. They go. This year is dedicated to my team.
Yeah.
This year is dedicated to my team. 2000. We got the Las Vegas Bowl honoring us this year, and then they're gonna honor us this year at the homecoming as well. Las Vegas Bowl champions. We beat Arkansas, Boo Williams, and Ken Hamlin them. So I'm super honored, and we go into the Hall of Fame as a bowl team too. So it's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be dope. Listen, I love going in as a team, right? But I'm trying to get in there like Hunkie, man. Put me in there by myself.
I think you should. I think you should be. I think you should be by yourself though. That should be. It should be coming up. You should, because you did a lot of.
I'm never coming out.
Yeah, you did a lot. So we just had a lot of. We had a lot of people. So I don't mind being. I'm in there as a team. So I'm good with that.
Right.
You
good with that.
Yeah, I'm good.
And
with
me
that.
too, though. Look, I don't want to sound ungrateful.
Right.
I'm happy to be in there as a team. They're gonna put us in again with the Las Vegas Bowl part, right? But when I look at my career, and I love what Hunkie said, man, because it had a lot to do with what we talked about last week too, man. The attitude can influence the play sometimes.
Yeah.
The attitude can influence the play time sometimes. You know what I mean? So, especially as young black men, that's my goal to teach all my athletes. Attitude will kill your career faster than skill will. I promise you. And a lot of us don't want to hear it, but I promise you, the attitude will shut your career down way faster than any skill or lack of skill that you have. It's just the truth. And I can remember you telling me that as a kid, and it really not hitting home until I got into high school, where I was like, yo, my uncle and them ain't coaching me no more, right? There ain't certain things I can do out here because it's my uncle coaching me. Now I got these coaches that don't really know me, and they might not like my attitude, or that I talk trash when I'm playing the game, or They might not be into that, right? So attitude it can knock your career down.
It was different, and plus it was a different game too. You know, it was not friendly football. You know, this was for us. It was for me. It was war. It was always war for me. So I'm not gonna shake your hand. Okay, here, game over. Catch you next time. You know.
Right. So, I ain't talking to you before the game. We not hooping.
Yeah, we not buddy, and yeah. Yeah, this is kill or be killed. I'm trying to crush your soul, you know. Yeah. That's why when I hit like that, I'm trying to go through you and crush your soul.
Through you, yes sir.
Yeah.
Yes sir.
So yeah. But yeah, good episode, man. Let's get ready for Saturday. With what we gonna do? What we gonna come up? Let's dig into the team a little bit. So I know they had something Saturday? On. I know they were talking about they were kind of like last chance you, so we might want to expound on that a little bit because they have so many great players they brought in, you know. So we kind of could dig into that a little bit, see if we come up with a guest by then. Oh yeah, you was on that research when you was going through the stats. I was getting the chills. So yeah. Yeah, I'll reach out to a couple guys and see if they want to come on. Yeah. And
absolutely.
Yeah, because Icky's been calling me a lot, you know, so I'll see what he's up to.
Yeah, I love to sit and talk to Ick for sure. Talk to Ick. You know what I mean? Because he had a whole wave behind him. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't just talking about UNLV. I'm talking about he went to Cincinnati and started the Icky Shuffle. It was a whole wave. You feel me?
Yeah, that was a movement.
His name would pop up and it say UNLV. You don't even know as a kid. I used to be like, boy, he went to UNLV. Boy, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So I'll give him a ring and see what's going on. All right.
Let's get it. I see you on Saturday. Let's do it again. Same time, same place. You heard?
Same time, same place. And we're gonna make this thing happen.
Only on Blue TV, you heard me? Only on Blue TV. Don't play with it. Let's go. There's something special going on.
Right. I'm getting all this last. Yeah, we're gonna make it. Do
your part. You should even drop your commercial right now. Drop your commercial.
Man, I just pulled up